Hi, folks. Thank you again for coming on to Back to Basics for Season 3. Today, we're going to speak with Amadi Gray, and we're going to find out about ChatGPT. Now, we've heard ChatGPT everywhere, but there's one thing that we do need to talk about is ChatGPT in the podcasting world and how does it work and all the details. And that's what we're going to go and talk about today. So why not we stop talking to me and talk to our guest today, Amadi, and we'll get to know him better on Back to Basics. I'll see you there. Hi, folks. My name is Girish. Thank you again for coming on to Back to Basics. Today, we're going to speak with Amadi, and we're going to find out what ChatGPT is all about. Now, everyone around the world, everyone on social media are talking about ChatGPT, which is totally fine. But we're doing it in a back to basics style. We're going to go and talk about in a detail, in a basic way, that what is all ChatGPT all about, but in the podcast world. So we're going to go and talk about that from the technology, AI, to podcast, or the other way around. Well, we'll find out towards the episode today. But Amadi, how are you? And thank you for coming to Back to Basics.
I cannot believe I'm on Back to Basics. This is incredible. It's the best day of my life.
Thank you so much. I mean, I'm glad I'm here too.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. This episode's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Amadi, thank you again for coming here. And you and I have chatted very briefly, and we got to know each other quite, well. And I think we just became offline friends too. But before we start about ChatGPT and all that podcast stuff and what you do and what you don't do, what does Back to Basic mean to you?
Back to Basics means, for me, going back to the foundation, the foundation of what you built your business on, and focusing on those fundamentals that got you to where you are right now. Because if it worked, of course, a lot of businesses fail. But if you are still in business, you have some things that have worked. And so you may find yourself, getting mixed up in the details, the small details, going back to the basics, figuring out what's been working up until this point can keep you locked in, focused, and on the right track. Yeah, that's what it means to me.
Well, thank you again for answering that question, and thank you again for being here on the show. Just very excited and honored. Let me ask you this: do you think the hoopla of people talking around about ChatGPT, do you think it's overrated, or are we just hyping it a little, and we need to slow down and understand what ChatGPT is all about?
I'm one of those people that if a lot of people are talking about something, it kind of irks me. It irks my soul, and I kind of steer away from it because I just really don't like giving into all the hype, all the chatter about, something that everyone's talking about, because I like to be different. I think it's just built in me. But I did check this tool out quite a while ago. And I tell you, man, it took me about a week or two, and I absolutely fell in love with the capabilities of it. And I would say it is not overhyped in the least, and it is launching us into a new realm of creative output when it comes to content creation.
Yeah, thank you again. And I think what people are trying to do is to talk about it instead of hyping it. I think that's what I feel. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Is that correct, you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have people just talking about it and not really utilizing it yet. You have people talking about it just for the use of their content because, everyone's talking about it and it's very clickable. But then you have people that are taking action and they're getting their hands dirty and they're figuring out how to use it, but then they're also figuring out how to use it for their business, how to tweak it to make it work better for them. Yeah. And if you can tweak it the right way, you can make it work. A lot of people are, freaking out and they're like, this is gonna, take away jobs and this is gonna do this is gonna do that. They're very fearful of it, which is understandable. I can understand. But at the same time, this tool and others that will come in the future, it will add value if you let it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And whoever's listening here, I guess people are listening and they want to understand what Chat GPT is. And whoever's listening here, there is one of the episodes that I actually talked about what is Chat GPT all about. And we did this live on one of the Monday lives on LinkedIn Audio. So please listen to that episode before you move further in this, because what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about Chat GPT in more depth
Mhm.
than Chat GPT 101, and the other episode will help you. So if this is not the place for you, please pause and just go to the other episode. But if you are willing to learn more, just keep on going. So let me ask you this. Now, ChatGPT, we all know what it is all about, but how does it help us in the podcast world? Because we know podcast is all audio, all video, all typing away. But why ChatGPT and podcast?
That's a very good question. A lot of podcasters, they have different challenges when it comes to getting their podcast episode from a thought to an actual episode that is on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, wherever they're going to be publishing. Now, in that in between, their struggles can be anywhere from what topic should I talk about to what should I even title my episode? What should the description be about? How am I going to integrate it to my other content? ChatGPT can aid you in all of those challenges by simply prompting the AI in the correct way you need for your podcast.
Hmm. But I have heard that if you are writing an essay or if you're writing some words, it's called plagiarism. And ChatGPT, I guess, copies from different places. Is that plagiarism also, and you might get in trouble? Or do you think it's a totally different realm when it comes to this?
Here's a very creative answer to that. If ChatGPT scouring the web, learning, because that's what it does, and giving you the best possible answer in different tones, different languages, different styles, and demeanors within the text, if that is plagiarism, everything that we do, everything that we personally talk about, me and you and anyone listening, from learning on the internet or talking to a friend and then regurgitating that information the way we would speak, that is plagiarism as well.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's not. It's us taking our own spin on it based on the information that we've been given,
Hmm.
and then outputting that coming from our point of view and
Hmm.
our perspective. That is what ChatGPT does. It has information of up to, I believe, the year 2021. Anything past that, it has not been able to learn
Hmm.
until they update it, of course.
Hmm.
But because of that, any information you ask it, it is able to, at an instant, you snap your fingers, it can output the answer for you. For example, if you're saying, I would like to know 10 popular podcast topics that I could potentially talk about in my new show.
Hmm.
It will give you 10 popular topics that a lot of podcasters are talking about, but that's not necessarily copying. That's just taking some things that other people are doing and giving you that option to take and then add your own spin to it.
Hmm.
Now, it does get a little bit more intricate, especially when it comes to descriptions and, essays, like you said, or even full-on blog posts and articles. A lot of people question that because it's saying if ChatGPT is learning this information from all of these places, how is it okay? Because it feels so easy. It feels like it's wrong.
Hmm.
It does. It really does. But if you know the science behind it, if you know what AI really is, and if you know how it's getting this information and outputting it to you, you will get excited because you're saying, man, this is just like having an assistant. This
Hmm.
is like having a virtual assistant. This is like being Iron Man in the Marvel universe and having, what was his name? Jarvis,
Jarvis, right?
And so now myself saying, hey, I write this paragraph my own.
Hmm.
Maybe it's to a client, maybe it's to a potential business partner, or some talent that we're going to bring in the fold.
Hmm.
and I write a paragraph and email out to them, and I'm like, this is aligned to what I'm trying to communicate, but I'm pretty sure it could be worded better.
Hmm.
You can pump that into ChatGPT, say, hey, I need this to keep the same information of what I'm trying to deliver, but I would like it to be, you know, worked out a bit, verbiage wise. But
Hmm.
then I would also like it to sound a little bit more pleasant, but
Hmm.
then also more inviting. I want the reader to feel welcomed. ChatGPT will take that prompt, all of the information you've given it, and revise that paragraph. So then you can take that, review it yourself, and then decide if you're going to take it, or B, going to have ChatGPT try it again until it gets it right, until you feel comfortable saying, okay, this is something that I feel I want to say.
Hmm.
It made my paragraph, what I was going to send, just that much better. You
Hmm.
know?
Mm. Thank you again. I actually, the way you said it, that they're trying to bring your emotions into the writing, and the reason why I say that is because there was an article that I wrote on LinkedIn one day, and someone replied back. One of the podcasters replied back, and he usually replies back to my post. And
Mm-hmm.
when I read it, okay, I called him up and I said, thank you for your your thought process, and why did you say it the way you said it? And he says, I don't know what you mean by that. what he s- I'm not going to say in detail what he said. I mean, you'll have to go and see it on my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But he was very, very polite, and he's usually not that polite. So I think what I'm trying to say is, I think I can catch someone by not resonating with their emotion or their style. Does that
Hmm.
make sense? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because I think I can catch an AI versus a human being.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's especially if you already have a relationship with that human being.
Hmm.
You already know the way they speak. You know what kind of words they use. You know what kind of mannerisms they use. So of course, if they're using an AI and they don't either prompt it correctly and then tweak it their own, taking what the AI pumps out and then going and adding their own tweaks to it for final output. If they're not doing that, it's very easy to tell. It's like, when we were younger, we had a crush on a girl in high school, and we're saying, hey, what should I say? And then you throw your phone to your friend, and then he's typing away and sends that message. If that's ever happened, if you had a relationship with that girl, you personally, she's going to know that someone else is texting her, you know?
Hmm.
That's just how it goes. So when it comes to a situation like this, the verbiage is is a very big tell
Hmm.
on what kind of verbiage you're using within your conversations, but then also the emotion that delivery evokes you
Hmm.
know
Hmm. Yeah, thank you again. One of the podcasts that I was listening to, and they were saying that eventually the host is actually going to be a bot.
hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on that part? Because do you think that our jobs are going to be taken away? Because some person or someone came out with this whole idea that a host is going to be an AI person or a bot person,
When you say host, what are you referring to?
like me, for example,
Oh,
for Back to
podcast host.
Basics, a podcast host.
Yeah.
So, do you think that someone's going to replace my job now? Because now we have this Chat GPT, the emotions are going to go gone away. I mean, you and I are chatting offline, and we're chit chatting, have a great time. But when we come on a show, you don't need me anymore. Does that
Our
make sense?
jobs, yes. And this is what a lot of people have concerns of, but our jobs have evolved up until the way humanity is operating today.
Hmm.
All jobs, all they do is evolve, and we're going to go through another evolution of the workforce. Things are becoming more digital. If you walk into a McDonald's, you're going to see digital screens that you can order your Big Macs from.
Hmm.
Now, they just released a McDonald's that is all AI and all robotics. It has no employees in the actual store. You drive up, you order, you drive in, and they have robotic arms deliver your Big Mac through the window, and you're off on your way.
Hmm.
But the thing now becomes, no, they aren't hiring cashiers to work inside that McDonald's, but they do need human eyes and overseers to oversee the day-to-day operations that go into that new facility with
Hmm.
all of the new capabilities.
Hmm.
Our jobs are going to evolve. But with that, the value of the cashier to the McDonald's is different than the value of that AI, robotics engineer, overseer, however you title it. The value is drastic, is different.
Hmm.
So our value, what we bring to the workforce, what we bring to a specific job, has to evolve.
Hmm.
If we're not developing our skill sets in different ways and learning different things, we're going to be left behind.
Hmm.
Now you don't need to be learning, I wouldn't say like at all, but you don't need to be learning how to, ring someone up for a Big Mac. You need
Yeah.
to be learning how to program an AI.
Hmm.
you know it's just a difference in education that is going to be coming if people are aware that this is an actual thing that is happening.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't be scared. I would just get knowledgeable about what's happening and begin to adapt.
Hmm. So let me ask you this. Back to Basic releases episodes every day, and they produce a whole bunch of episodes every day with different 4 different podcasts altogether. We do articles too. We do a whole bunch of stuff, marketing stuff and YouTube stuff and Instagram stuff and everything else, right? And I have a team of people helping me to make this happen. Now, are these does that mean that I need to let people go because ChatGPT is going to be coming in play? I mean, what are your thoughts on that part? Because that's another job going away, isn't it? Exactly. Yeah. So people who are watching right now, okay, you know what he's doing, and people who are listening, he just nodded his head, because he does not know. I mean, maybe he knows, but he's not going to answer, and it's totally fine because everyone's thought process is different when it comes to, I guess, getting a job or not getting a job, or making it automated, or making
hmm
things simpler. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
you know an employer, it doesn't matter who it is, they're trying to find someone who is going to make their job easier.
Hmm.
That's the way the world works. You're able to provide enough value to someone else for return, compensation. Um, and so it really all comes down to what what you're willing to learn, and how good you are passionately, determined to become at that said thing, to either keep a job or land a job, so that you aren't in that state of worry that you're going to lose a job, because you're irreplaceable.
Hmm.
Until you personally can become irreplaceable at what you do, you should always be worried,
Hmm.
because you can always be kicked off. Your boss can walk in and say, hey, we don't need you anymore because ChatGPT can do this now.
Hmm.
You should let that scare you. you
Hmm.
know
Hmm.
it'll allow you to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, this happened to me, so this is what I need to learn so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you again. And you have a podcast too. So how do you use ChatGPT? I mean, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing, but what are you doing for your podcast when it comes to ChatGPT? And I learned it from you, by the way. So,
Oh, nice, nice. Well, yeah, our podcast, it caters more towards entertainment. So we talk a lot about television and movie news, as we produce our own intellectual property on the back end. Now, because of this, we need a lot of content, a lot of topics. So what we do, we create a mothership piece of content, a long form piece of content that we can use and strip down to micro versions of that whole show, into different categories, different titles, because we talk about multiple things within a full episode. And it becomes its own vehicle, its own searchable term that people look up and watch that one, short version of a longer show, that they can then go and revisit the longer show, linkability, linking to, different forums, different pieces of content on our website. But all in all, what I use ChatGPT for our podcast is a tool to be able to learn ideas, collect ideas from other creators to come back to our own and create similar ideas with our branded twist on it, to pump out massive quantities of content that is branded under our entertainment. And that will represent in our podcast shows because it gives us more topics to talk about and more information based on those topics. That's everything in a nutshell.
So give me one example if you don't mind. So then people will understand that. How about that? In a basic way.
Yeah, that's good. So essentially, what we do, we have a playlist, and I'll break it down as best as I can. We have a playlist that when myself or my partners are going through YouTube, watching videos on, different, news, facts, or theories on the television shows and movies that we're watching, we'll say, hey, that's really cool. That's really interesting. We should talk about this. We add it to a playlist that we have a ChatGPT API installed on our blog's website that scrapes the content on that said playlist and adds it to our blog. But here's the twist, and here's the genius part of it. It takes the transcript of that video. So whatever was said in that video, ChatGPT takes that transcript and writes an article based on the transcript. So yes, when I first heard of ChatGPT's capabilities, I was like, man, I was kind of down because it's not up to date. Like, I can't tell ChatGPT, hey, go write an article or go give me information on, this actor that just locked in this role. It wouldn't be able to do that because it has only information up until 2021. However, you think about it, transcripts exist. So ChatGPT can look at a transcript and write in different forms, use different verbiage, use different ideas, evoke different emotions based on what that transcript said. So now within our company, we can create original content from others' ideas that are already current to the time that we are today and will be current on our website and live within minutes of us adding a video to a playlist. We go in, we revise, we make sure spelling is correct, we change verbiage to what we want, we add our own tone and personality behind it, and then boom, it's an original piece of content that sounds, looks, and communicates nothing like the original video from the source.
Yeah, thank you again. So you're telling me that a podcaster who's not done transcripts has to start from scratch all over again to upload their transcript for that particular episode.
Repeat that. If a podcast,
so there's a podcast, let's say mine, okay, and let's say I didn't do a transcript for that one episode. Does that mean that I need to dig up that WAV file or the MP4 file or whatever it is and transfer that into a transcript and then upload it so then people can, I guess, search it?
Oh yeah. If you have a podcast, you should have a transcript for your podcast. Not only does it help for this strategy that we're using, that I feel like more people, once they start learning and catching on, maybe after they hear this podcast and they feel like, it could work for them, a lot more people are going to be doing it. But transcripts are also good for searchability. Keywords, adding that SEO component to your podcast episodes. You definitely want to have transcripts. But if you do this, you won't even need to worry about transcripts, because if you have a video podcast, which everyone needs one, because if you don't have one, you're wasting time. You're wasting time when you could be recording video the same exact time you're recording audio. You're killing two birds with one stone. But now when you have that video, all you do is upload that video directly to YouTube. And guess what? You have a transcript, because you go to the right side of the video, you click on the three little dots and you click the transcript button, and it gives you a full transcript of everything was said in that video. Yes, of course, you're going to need to edit and revise, of course, but it does the majority of the workload for you. And that's exactly what we're using the API to scrape from those videos.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, isn't it? But then that ChatGPT makes it automated and then scrapes it and makes it nice and cosmetically, and then post it onto your audio form too, right? So yeah, thank you again for sharing those nuggets, because I want people to understand that it is a new age that we're getting into. And if people have not done it, I think this is another way of scraping, as your term call it, and then forming that analog to a digital world, as you just mentioned, right?
Oh yeah.
So thank you again for explaining that, because I want people to understand in a basic way when it comes to what do they need to do when it comes to rebooting or remixing your podcast and make it more visible for you to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again for that. You know, thank you for coming on season three. There's a new segment that we have actually started on season three, which is the rapid fire round. In this
Rapid
rapid
fire.
fire round, I'm going to go and ask you some questions or even phrase or whatever pops in my head. And well, pops in your head, and then
Mm-hmm.
you give me an answer, whatever your thoughts are.
This is dangerous.
It is dangerous. You want to quit or you
No,
want to go?
we never quit.
We
Let's
never.
go for it.
I sound like that TV show, Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, right.
Okay. The first word is going to be noise.
Competition,
Podcast.
growth,
Machine learning.
complicated,
AI.
the future. I like that one.
AI versus humans.
Collaborative.
Copying.
You say copying?
Copying.
Copying. Hmm. Nothing's coming to me.
Okay. How about copy paste?
Paste. Computer. I feel like my mind's getting bland. Copy paste. Yeah, computers. First thing that came to my mind. Copy paste. Yeah, computer.
Okay. Prompt.
Intelligent.
Uh,
Intelligently.
okay. Jobs.
Scarce. Well, that was
Scarce.
dark.
Okay. Hard skill or soft skill?
I'm sorry. What? Hard skill or soft skill?
Mm-hmm. Which one would you want to choose out of these two?
I don't really know the meaning. It'd be hard for me. Hard scale, soft scale.
So we'll talk that offline. How about that? That's
Okay.
okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Topics.
Topics. Conversation.
Content.
Vast.
Microversion.
Mike, first thing I thought it was microphone.
Okay. Transcripts.
Data.
Video or audio?
Oh, for these you want me to choose one, not come up like things that, never mind. I'd say video. You said video or audio? I choose video because video has audio. So
Okay.
This is tough.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel, of course. Well, we'll see after this next year because they got some things planned.
Okay.
Let's see.
Marvel and which hero?
Which hero of Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Hands down.
Hands down. Okay.
Tom Holland specifically.
Okay. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
Maybe Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. Okay.
Not Tobey Maguire. He's cool, but like anyway.
The last two is going to be Amadi.
Entrepreneur.
Okay. And the last one is back to basics.
Business growth.
Awesome. Thank you so much for playing the rapid fire round.
That was tough.
It was tough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't understand the other one because like
which one?
Hard scale, soft scale. I choose hard scale.
Okay. So the world that we're living in is that we're, coming to a world that jobs are going away. And people,
Yeah.
they have to understand what hard skills are. Hard skills are basically they're going to be learning their technique and their technical support or your business or your those are your hard skills. And you want to get into schools to learn new technology or new business or
Mm.
new whatever, right? Soft skills are what you and I are doing.
You're
We
saying
we are speaking all
skills.
day long, and we're becoming speakers and we're becoming, those are your soft skills.
I for all this entire time I thought you were saying scales.
Oh,
SCALE.
well, if
I
I gave you
feel
a choice right now,
so
what is it? So which one then?
there's only one answer. You got to learn the hard skills.
Okay.
You have to. Like, you can't learn soft skills or you're going to be worried about AI taking your job.
So true. Thank you so much for that. And when you said Spider-Man for Marvel,
Mhm.
okay, I really, really thought you were gonna say Iron Man because you were talking about Jarvis and AI. So I'm a
I
little surprised about that. So can you explain that why?
mm, Iron Man's cool. He's just never been my favorite. And here's how I decide on which character is my favorite. Anytime a movie's coming out, I gauge my excitement level on how bad I want to see the movie. Every time there was a Spider-Man movie coming out with Tom Holland, I'm like, man, I gotta see this. Every time Iron Man movie came out, I'm just like, I'll get around to it. You know,
Mm,
aside from the joint, when they come together, like for the Avengers movies and stuff, those are great.
mm,
Iron Man's cool. Don't get me wrong. He's just not my favorite.
mm.
You
Yeah,
know.
well, thank you again, and hopefully we didn't piss anyone off by you saying that.
Oh no, we piss people off all the time.
But thank you again for playing those rapid fires, and thank you again for being a sport. And I understand that there were some few of them which you didn't understand, which is totally fine. And that's what this game is all about, to test my guest.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this:
Mhm.
if there is a book or a video or something
Mm.
that kind of resonates with you with this topic or some other topic that you would like to share that other people can learn from that topic itself.
Yeah. I have it right here, actually.
Okay.
This book, I tell you, everyone needs to read, not only for business, but for a way of life. And if you have not read this book, I guarantee you it will help you in one aspect of your life. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss and Tal Raz.
Hmm.
Negotiate as if your life depends on it.
Hmm.
It's about an FBI hostage negotiator that goes through his career and tells you his strategies and his approach to getting hostages in safe environments using negotiation and tactics, verbal tactics.
Hmm.
It's a life changer. So definitely check that out. I know this isn't really on the AI topic, but it's something that I've been reading. Um,
No,
and
but thank you.
it's amazing.
No, thank you again. And people, they need to understand that, there's a different side of you besides just AI and technology and podcasting. So thank you again for answering that question. And thank you again for sharing that book. And I think I might download that too.
Do it. I'm telling you, and let
So
me know how you
I
like
will,
it. Yeah.
we'll keep notes on that. But before you leave today, do you have any last words to all my Back to Basic listeners? And how was your journey on Back to Basics?
My journey on Back to Basics was awesome. I definitely want to come back for future seasons. And for anyone listening, I say my final word is you need to be creating content in every single medium, and you need to be on every single platform that is free to use. We are getting free extended reach right now through platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube Shorts, et cetera, because they're trying to get users on their platform to create more content so they can lock in more advertising. Because of this, there's extended reach being given for free. So if you are not creating content, you're wasting time and you're wasting money because soon it's going to cost you. Now, if you're going to say, hey, Amadi, I don't have the time, you know, I don't have the leverage to be able to do all of this and focus my time and attention on creating this content. It's a lot. And yes, it is a lot. However, you need to figure out what is the ROI of the product or service that you are offering to bringing on a virtual assistant to edit this content for you and to help you and aid you to get this content out to the world, because this content will sell your products and services. So that is my final words. I just say, just do it.
Amadi, it's not always about services, right? I mean, it's always about making yourself efficient. Then you can do other stuff too.
Yeah.
And it's all automated stuff. And people need to understand that. Yes, we are talking about business, but then we're also talking about everyday thing that you do constantly and make that automated. So that's what ChatGPT is all about. AI is all about, and automation. So thank you again, Amadi, for coming here. I had the blast time. I had a great time with you. And thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me. I hope I brought some kind of value to your audience, and grateful for being invited on Back to Basics.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, guys, today we spoke with Amadi today, didn't we? And we talked about ChatGPT. We talked about the advantages, disadvantages of ChatGPT. But according to me, there's no disadvantages to this, because this is actually making your life a lot better. And that's what technology does, because people, they get scared of technologies. Remember, people got scared when they went from VCR to DVD players. From DVD players, they went to Netflix. People have to understand that we are changing over time, and that scares us, and that's okay. Learning is scaring, right? I mean, that's what they usually say. Now, as usual, as always, there's a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and hopefully my guest, Amani, will like the quote. And here's a quote of the day. ChatGPT is one of those rare moments in technology where you can see a glimmer of how everything is going to be different going forward. Because going forward is definitely different. Because you know what? When you walk down the street, you're looking at something different every single day, aren't you? It's the same process for technology. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And that's what we talked about. Thank you again for coming to Back to Basics. And remember what we usually say at the end of the episode. Everything in life goes back to basics. And that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care. God bless. And I will see you next time on Back to Basics.
That was great. I just hope I didn't mess. I hope I didn't.
It's all good.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it was fun. I really liked the game.
Hi guys, thank you again for tuning in to Back to Basics and listening to the excellent episode that we had today with our guest. You know, with your love and support, we do need you to at least rate our show, review our show, because it does make us stronger day by day, week by week, as I usually say on my episodes. And there are 3 things in this episode that it makes a hit for me, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. So guys, take care, God bless, and remember, everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and see you next time on Back to Basics.